Have you ever filmed an entire video and then went, nah, I want to do it in a different format? That would be me. Hi, my name is Phoenix, and this is TFL Design, where I do anything but design because that is my day job and I'm too exhausted to do it at night as well, or on weekends. Today, I'm going to do a video to show what's in my bag for anybody that's interested to know what my everyday carry is. Wink, 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 wink. And, other stuff that I keep in there. Other than the phone that I'm filming this video with. Will I show my everyday carry? No, just a joke. But for those who knows, and for those who are expecting it, it is illegal here in Canada, so no, can't even do it. But people would like to think that I can and do. But I will show you what fits inside. So I realize that the older I get, the more stuff I carry, and I don't think it's always by choice, especially after the lockdown in the world we live in now, where we have to carry extra stuff because of you know what. I find myself carrying a lot more things than I had previously. So today, I'm just going to show you what's inside my bag. I know a lot of guys wonder why women carry such big purses and why they can't have everything fit in their pockets and why women's clothes don't have pockets to begin with. If you think about it, a lot of women's clothes don't have pockets because they want to maintain that slender silhouette. Imagine having a really thick wallet inside your pants and you just see the bulges everywhere. Probably not the most flattering. In the more looser and bulkier clothing, you can definitely place your stuff in, but for the most part, pockets for women's clothing is kind of just either a decorative thing or something we hang our hands in when we don't know what to do with it. It's not actually functional. And I think the modern girl tends to carry more than what they could fit in their pants anyway, even cargo pants. I remember growing up, I was extremely tomboyish and would wear, boys' clothes. I only shopped in the boys section. But I would only carry 3 things: my wallet, my keys, and my cell phone. And that's all I needed as a, junior high schooler kid. I remember when I was playing paintball with a group of my guy friends, they all asked to put their wallets and phones inside one of my purses. That way it wouldn't be left out on the tables, and they didn't want to put it inside any of the paintball gear bags that had paint all over it. So I placed all their cell phones, wallets, and keys and everything they had in their pants into my purse, and it exploded. The zipper basically busted. Since then, I've been carrying a bigger purse. This is my current bag, and it's not an ideal shape for me because I'm actually more into the very structured and rectangular / square shape. The reason I upgraded to this shape and size is because I wanted to carry something that I could tuck underneath my armpits. This kind of just hangs around my shoulder and goes under my arm, but it's actually not the size and shape I wanted, but it's functional. I got this bag for its functionality. Here's my old bag. My old bag was actually a men's satchel. It was hard to reach down to the bottom to grab anything without first having to take out whatever was on top, since it's so skinny. So recently I bought this so that I can fit basically anything I want in here plus more. There's definitely a lot of room left in this bag. I do still want to retain that rough masculine look, which is why I like the chains and stuff on it, and in black, of course. It's a little bit heavy to begin with when it's empty because it is like metal chains and a lot of leather, but I'm okay with it. It's not too bad, and I need the exercise anyway. This outer pocket, I have nothing in it. I might use it or might not, depending on if I'll ever need it. So the first thing I have in my bag, as you can see, is this pack of wet wipes. It's not something I started carrying because of COVID, but rather on range trips, we'd have a lot of powder and crap blown back into our faces. And so my guy friends would start asking me if we had like tissues and wet naps or whatever in the car. And so I just started carrying it in my purse. It is getting cold now, so some lotion for my hands. This is a new one that I bought. I never used this brand before. I have a pen in my bag because I'm an adult. Not that I need to sign checks or have a checkbook in my bag, but from time to time, always a time when you need a pen. Here's some antibacterial thingies. It's funny that we use them now and not when I lived in New York and millions of people using the subways, wiping their snot on their hands and rubbing it all over the pole. Just made sure to wash my hands before I eat, I guess. Next is a pack of gum because you always need to make sure your breath is fresh. And here is my rather red face mask, which I try to keep a fresh pair in my bag at all times. Next is this little bag that I keep all my toiletries in. And sometimes my makeup stuff if I need to bring some makeup with me. Here's a pack of tissues. And here I have a tape measure. Now, why would I carry a random tape measure, you ask? Well, originally it was for me to take measurements of my body and know what size clothes to buy, and I would always misplace it, so I placed it in my bag, so I always knew where to find it. But I also found it useful to measure random objects in stores that I'm about to buy if they don't have the measurements, so I can predict whether it would fit under the kitchen sink or wherever it is I'm trying to place it. So next is something that I think everyone should carry. This is a shitty Swiss Army knife thing. Why do I carry one, you say? There's always someone that's going to need something from it, whether it's a scissor, a knife to cut off some loose thread I have on my clothes. Or I remember there was a time where I was working in New York and one of my coworkers brought a single can of soup to work, like just can of soup, without a can opener, and I was like, how did you plan to eat that? Were you gonna smash it on the side of your desk with a rock or something? And so luckily I had this Swiss Army knife on me and he was able to open his precious can of soup for lunch. This is a mirror because, if I don't want to use my phone as a mirror, this one's a bit easier to just take out and use. I have chapstick because you should always have chapstick on you. Here are my AirPods. I just recently got into these. I used to only use clip-ons. I don't like over-the-ear headphones when I'm outdoors because I want to hear oncoming traffic in case, somebody is about to hit me or something, and I like to be aware of my surroundings. I never liked in-ear headphones for the longest time because it's just gross and unhygienic to share with people. But because my favorite clip-ons don't come in Bluetooth for me to connect with my Apple iPhone, I eventually caved and just bought AirPods, which I plan to never share with anyone because ew. Next is the center pocket of this bag, and I have this giant wallet. Why do you have such a large wallet, you ask? Well, you see, I have 1 million cards inside. Why would you need that many cards, you ask? Well, some of them are credit cards. Well, someone has to hold the 3 membership cards to 3 different bubble tea shops that I frequent, or, my Cineplex movie theater card, membership cards, maybe even a couple of business cards from people that I randomly have kept and forgot to take out for years, as well as all the credit cards you could think of. I'm just kidding, but there was a time where I had a ton of credit cards, not that I used them all, but rather because when you sign up for a new credit card at certain places, you would get discounts on the immediate purchases. So if I'm like at Home Depot buying 3 2x4s and the guy at the register is like, do you want a Home Depot MasterCard so you could get 10% off this purchase? I'll be like, hell yes, sign me up. Next we have my car keys and home keys, which I keep in this key holder so that it does not scratch the inside of a bag, especially if I have a leather bag. I don't want it to be scratched up by the keys itself, so I have one of these. And that's it. Yeah, thanks, I guess. And you're probably wondering, oh, Phoenix, but for real, how many guns can you hold inside this bag? Well, as you can see, And for those of you that are like, oh, Phoenix, we know that's not a real gun, that's airsoft. You're right, my friend. Here's a Glock for size. My bad, I can't trick you.